Welcome to Manifest IAS, and you are watching Current Jokes. These are the crispest current affairs that you can get, and we are into the series of environment now. And under environment, we have discussed many topics already, especially schemes and programs, then conferences and meetings, reports and indices, then few issues with the forest, and in biodiversity, we have seen the World Heritage Sites. Now we'll be doing with the threatened species which are in the news. So there are many threatened species as per the IUCN Red List. What we have many threatened species, especially under endangered, critically endangered, and vulnerable. But in this particular video, we have taken only those species which are there in the news since a year or two. And under that, we'll be dealing with dolphin, Himalayan and Nilgiri Thar, pangolin, cheetah, Hulak gibbon, Asian elephant, then golden langur, and a few birds like Indian skimmer, great Indian bustard, and florican. And finally, we will be discussing two frogs which are introduced and the state butterflies, and finally, some plant species of balsams. And as you know, as a part of this video, we are providing other three features also. If you go to the comment section, you can see the timestamp. You can click on the timestamp and go to a particular topic. And also, we are providing the PPTs of these videos. You can download them. You can refer them while you are seeing the video, or you can revise them later. And also, we'll be giving two questions at the end, which you can solve, and we'll be solving those questions when this particular environment chunk is over at the end of this series. So let us go to these topics one by one.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Species by species will go. First one is the Gangetic dolphin. Gangetic dolphin, it is one of the threatened species in India. And if you take the extent of this dolphin, extent, that is the area or the habitats found in these countries, especially India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Pakistan. So basically, it is associated with the Himalayan river system. Maybe it is Gangetic river system and some parts of Indus river system, and also some part of the rivers which are flowing through the Bhutan and Bangladesh too. They are also part of Himalayan river systems. And if you take the IUCN Red List status of this particular dolphin, it is endangered, and its current population trend, it is unknown. So whether it is decreasing or increasing, that was not found. And the survey is 2 years old, so we don't know the trend yet. Then habitat type, so in which all ecosystems or the habitat types it is present, especially it lives in wetlands, inland wetlands mainly, and marine neritic wetlands, not all types of marine ecosystems, but only neritic and wetlands mainly. Then it is not a migrant species. So though you can find them in the river system, it is not a migrant species. This is what we have to know. And when it comes to the location of them or their habitats, you can see the marked areas in the map that we have provided. And also you can see the picture of this Gangetic dolphin. So this is very important species, because we have seen the questions associated with Gangetic dolphin almost every alternative years we have seen. And this particular dolphin is used for foods and some of the chemicals which is extracted from the body of the dolphin, so they are also used. So this is all we have to know about this Gangetic dolphin. Next one is important species is Nilgiri Thar. Nilgiri Thar, you can see that particular species in the picture that we have provided, and it is mainly endemic to India, and its current population, it is decreasing. That is what we have known from the recent survey of IUCN Red List. And the number of mature individuals what we have, it is around 2000, and it is one of the IUCN Red List endangered species. And habitat, we can find it somewhere in the shrubland, grassland, and the rocky areas. As far as its habitats are concerned, mainly they are in the Western Ghats, Western Ghats, that too in the southern Western Ghats. We can see these thars grazing on the hillocks or in the rocky areas. So, as you can see in the map, these are the important habitats that we have noted in the border of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, especially part of the southern Western Ghats. Especially, you can find them across all the mountain ranges, that is Nilgiris or Palani Hills or the Anamalai Hills or the Cardamom Hills. So we can see them throughout, and they are mainly used for the food. They are hunted mainly for the food. So this is what we have to know about Nilgiri Thar. The next important Thar or the species is the Himalayan Thar. So you can see it is almost same like the Thar, but if you can see the morphological features, so they are different. So they have been adopted as per the need of the Himalayas or the cold regions. So this is the near threatened species. This is not under the threatened list of endangered, critically endangered, and vulnerable. This is near threatened. So if you not give the attention, definitely it is going to slip into the threatened list. Then its habitats mainly we find it in India, China, and Nepal. That too in the high altitude Himalayan region. Then the current population trend is decreasing, and the habitat type we can find them across the forest, shrubland, and the rocky area. So when it comes to habitat type, it is same as Nilgiri Thar, so that we can correlate easily. And it is mainly used for the food. And if you want to locate them, you can see the map there. So it is all along the foothills of the Himalayas, or throughout the Himalayas we can find them. So right from Jammu and Kashmir towards Sikkim, we can see these Himalayan Thars. So this is what we have to know about the Himalayan Thar. The next important species, that is Indian pangolin. So this was there in the news for bad reasons throughout this year. That is due to the origin of the COVID-19 virus from this particular animal, that is pangolin. So we have to know very well about this particular species. So the extent, the habitat we can find across India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And to mind you, it is the Indian pangolin we are talking about. There is one more species, that is the Chinese pangolin. So basically, we can find Indian pangolin so around these regions, especially in the South Asia. So as you can see in the map, you can see throughout South Asia, especially in India. And the current population trend, it is decreasing, and the habitat type, it is again across forest, savanna, shrubland, and the grassland. We can see them, and it is not a migrant species, though it comes under the CITES, that is the Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species. So we can see this particular animal in the appendix of those, but the thing is we cannot find it in the migratory species. So it doesn't come under the Convention on Migratory Species, that is CMS. So it is basically used for the medicine and the food purpose, and it is used locally and internationally too. So it comes under the CITES, that is the Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species. So one has to be thorough about this particular pangolin, and also if you know about the Chinese pangolin, so that is even better. So this is what we have for Indian pangolin. Next thing is cheetah. Yes, cheetah is not there in India right now. It is the extinct species in India. So many years ago, these cheetahs are completely extinct from our mainland, and we are thinking of reintroducing this cheetah into the lands of India from Africa. So we are trying to get the cheetah from Africa and trying to reintroduce here, so that we can have a viable population of the cheetah in India. Then it is mainly extant in African countries, and it is completely extinct in India right now. Current population trend is decreasing, and the number of mature individuals around 6,000. The habitat, again, same as other wild animals, savanna, shrubland, grassland, and desert we can find, and used in captivity and mainly for the ornamental purpose basically its claws and teeth. So that is used for the ornamental purpose. And in the African region, the hunting of this is kind of a sport that we have. And the Supreme Court recently has allowed the introduction of it in India. So it is a very good move by the Supreme Court. The Ministry of Environment had sought the permission from Supreme Court to reintroduce, and Supreme Court has given a green signal. So in the decade or two, we are going to see the viable population of cheetah in India. That is very encouraging, and I would request the students, it is not the leopard. So leopard is different. Leopard is abundantly found in India, but it is the cheetah what we are talking about. There is a lot of difference between the species of cheetah and the species of leopard. Next thing is the Hulok gibbon. So this is again the very special species, and we have seen the questions on this Hulok gibbon. This Hulok gibbon, it is the only ape that is present in India. We don't find any other ape presently living in India. Then the extent what we can find, it is across India, Bangladesh and Myanmar. If you can see the map, so it is endemic to this particular region, that is northeast of India, and the western part of the Myanmar and the eastern part of Bangladesh. Then current population trend is decreasing. It is one of the IUCN Red List endangered species, and its habitat is mainly forest. So it lives in forest, and it is mainly used for the food and the medicinal purpose. So one has to be thorough about its status and its uses and its habitats. So this is what we have to know about the Hulok gibbon. The next important species is Asian elephant. Asian elephant, yes, it is found abundantly in India, but the thing is we don't have the viable population, and we are seeing many conflict with respect to the human habitats. So especially in the laying of the tracks or laying of the roads, we are cutting their natural habitats, or we are cutting through their pathways. So our development, it is not conducive for the proliferation of the population of Asian elephant right now. But we need to know about its extent. That is in South and Southeast Asia we can find them. As you can see in the map, it is clearly shown, especially in the Kerala and Tamil Nadu region, and in the Himalayan region, and some parts of West Bengal, Odisha and Jharkhand we can see, and also in the northeastern region we can find them in abundance. And it is one of the endangered species in IUCN Red List, and the current population trend is decreasing, and its habitat type again forest, land, shrubland and the grassland. We can't see them in the Rocky Mountains, and they are mainly used for food, captivity and the ornamental purpose. Ornamental purpose, mainly its tusks and its claws are used for the ornamental purpose. And this is what we have to know about the Asian elephant. And India is only country which has tiger, lions and the elephants together. No other country has all these three together. So this is the very speciality of India's fauna. Next important species is the golden langur. Golden langur, there are many types of langur, and all those types are not threatened, but few of the langurs are threatened, and even some of the macaque, especially the lion-tailed macaque, is threatened in India. So we need to know about golden langur. Golden langur, its extent is across India and Bhutan. We can see in the map, it is mainly in the parts of Assam and the southern Bhutan. So current population trend is decreasing. The number of mature individuals what we have is around 6,500, and its habitat type is completely forest, and it is used in captivity, especially for the food and medicinal purpose. It is not hunted, but it is used for captive purposes. This is what we have to know about golden langur. The next important species is Indian skimmer. So we are moving towards the avian species now. So Indian skimmer is a very important species, and it was there in the news. And as you can see, its location or its habitats can be seen in the northern India, especially on the foothills of the Himalayan, especially in the Gangetic plains, and even in the Indus plains we can see. and we can see in the upper Western Ghats and also in Gujarat and in few pockets of South India, especially in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and in Odisha, we can see their population. So Indian skimmer, it is extant in India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, and Pakistan. And even we can see the traces seasonally in Vietnam, Iran, Oman, and Thailand too. And it is a full migrant species. So it cross borders, and according to the season, it roams around the places, or it changes its location or habitat, and it is one of the vulnerable species under the IUCN Red List, and the current population trend is decreasing right now, and its habitat is mainly the wetlands, that to the inland wetlands, not the marine wetlands. So this is what we have to know about the Indian skimmer. The next important bird, and very important as far as the UPSC preliminary examination is concerned, Great Indian Bustard, because we have seen plenty of questions on Great Indian Bustards in the last 10-15 years. So one has to know about the Great Indian Bustard, and if you can see the locations, so it is found throughout India, especially in the northern region above Vindhya mountains, and in Gujarat, and in the Deccan Plateau we can see them, and we have demarcated the resident status, or it is living, and even the possibly extinct regions also we have mentioned here. So Great Indian Bustard, it is extant in India and Pakistan, and current population trend is decreasing right now, and it is one of the critical endangered species under IUCN Red List, and the number of mature individuals is around 50,000 right now, and the habitat type what we have for this, it is mainly the grassland. So this is what we have to know about the Great Indian Bustard, and it is not one of the migrant species too, and it is mainly used for the food and the sport purpose, and it is not a migrant, as I told. The next important bird is the Bengal florican. Bengal florican, it was there in the news, and if you want to see the habitats of it, it is along the foothills of Himalayas and some parts of Bangladesh, and even we can see some of the population in the plains of West Bengal too. So this is what we have marked in the map, and it is extent throughout India, and we can find some of the population in Nepal and Cambodia too, and the current population trend is decreasing, and the number of mature individuals is around 250 to 1000 what we have, and its habitat is purely grassland. It is mainly hunted for the food. So this is what we have to know about the Bengal florican. So don't just stick with Bengal because it is named after Bengal. It is found throughout the foothills of Himalayas, especially Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, even some parts of Assam and other northeastern states. The next important species what we have to discuss is about frogs. So especially we have one frog, that is the new frog that is found in Western Ghats, and the second one is the very important frog, especially found in Western Ghats, but particularly in Kerala. So first we'll be discussing about the starry dwarf frog, which is found in India, and it has been found in Kerala, and scientists have named the frog as Astrobatrachus Kuruchian. So it is basically named after a constellation which resembles its spots on the body, and also Kuruchiana, it is dedicated to the tribe which live around the place where this frog was found. So that is why it is named like that. And if you go to the specifications of its appearance, it has dark brown with bright orange underbelly, and it has the blue dots on it. So it is a very beautiful frog, and mainly it is found during the mating season. And when it comes to the frogs, so if it is in the examination, usually the frogs, many types of frogs are endemic to the Western Ghats. So just to eliminate, or just to get to the correct option, so one has to know whenever the frogs come, it is mainly endemic to the Western Ghats. This is what we have to know. And also some types of butterflies, they are mainly endemic to the Western Ghats. This is the small trivial knowledge we can use to eliminate the options in the examination. And this particular species, it camouflages well in the wet leaf litter. So basically in the humus or in the leaf litter part, so it can easily camouflage, and it can get off the radar of some of the predatory species. Then the purple frog we have to discuss about. This purple frog, it is also known as a Mavili frog. This is not the new frog. To be very clear, it is not the new frog. This is the very old frog, or the oldest frog, what we can say, that is Mavili frog. And it is classified as one of the explosive breeder. So most of the times in the year, it will be underground, and during the season of mating, so it comes out, and its productivity is too high, and it is called as a explosive breeder. And this is called as a living fossil because some of the scientists can date back this frog, or the existence of this frog, even during the time of dinosaurs. That is why it is called as living fossil, and it is one of the endangered species under IUCN Red List, and it is going to be crowned as Kerala's state amphibian. So very few states have this liking of naming some of the amphibians as their state amphibian. So Kerala is the first state which is going to name this amphibian as the state amphibian. And the adult frogs are found to be of medicinal usage. So that is what has been found out. So they are believed to have medicinal benefits. So this particular frog becomes very important. One new frog and one of the oldest frog we have discussed about. The next important topic under the biodiversity or under the species is the state butterflies. So state butterflies, so we have 5 states so far, and Tamil Nadu is the latest state which has entered into the a list of states having the state butterflies. First one is Maharashtra, blue marmon, then Uttarakhand, common peacock, then Karnataka, southern birdwings, and Kerala, Malabar, banded peacock, and finally Tamil Nadu is having the Tamil yeoman. So this particular topic becomes important because once we have seen the question on state butterfly in the examination, so try to remember these 5 states. They may not go to the butterfly species or the name of it, but at least you have to know the name of the state which all are having the state butterflies. The next important species are the only plant species that we'll be discussing today, that is balsams. So these balsams, suddenly we have found 23 species of these balsams, especially in the eastern Himalayas. And to mind you, eastern Himalayas is one of the biodiversity hotspot. And these balsams are also known as the jewel weeds because of the ornamental purpose, or because of the beauty or its usage in some of the decorating materials. Then these are having the succulent features. Succulent, so basically the transpiration is prevented if the leaves are thick or the parts of the body of these plants are thick. So these are the succulent plants that we have, and these are highly endemic to this particular eastern Himalayas, and they are prized horticulture significance. As I told, they have many species, and especially they are used in the aesthetic purposes or into the decorating material. So that is why they have higher significance as far as their economic usage is concerned. Then it is highly they are highly sensitive to the extreme weathers or the weather conditions like drought and the extended exposure to sunlight. So this is what we have to know about this particular balsams, and they are typically confined to some of the ecosystems, especially the stream margins, that is along the rivers, and the moist roadsides. So basically we can see them in some of the moist deciduous forests. Then waterside boulders, and near waterfalls and the wet forest. So basically, it depends lot on the humidity or lot on water or lot on the moisture. This is what we have to know about the balsams, and it was there in the news this year. So these all are the important topics what we had into the section of species under biodiversity to discuss about. So in the next video, we'll be dealing with some of the important national parks, especially we'll be dealing with some of the protected areas which were there in the news. So until then, read well, revise well, and practice the papers well. Thank you very much.